By the way, welcome again, Vadim. If you can briefly tell us your project about Boss Fighters.
Boss Fighters, it is world's first VR NPC action game with digital assets, just like the title says, just like on our website, the logo says. And this is the game where you can shoot, smash, and win. And yeah, it's literally the world's first VR NPC action game with NFTs, with crypto. So there's no other project like that in the Web3 space at all.
Great, world's first.
Okay, so let's try like different approach. I'm gonna try to explain you why these features are really important from the investment standpoint. I think that's what the community likes to hear.
Yeah, sure. Because my audiences would like to prefer my videos, my contents, to understand what I am going to do as investor. Yeah. Or trader, something like that.
The whole concept of this game, this project, stems from the idea that Web3 community is rather small compared to like Web2 gaming community, and the best way to bring people into Web3, into crypto, this is what actually almost everyone unanimously agrees, is to bring those investors through gaming. Because gaming, it is the most popular medium entertainment, and most of it is done for Web2. So Web3 brings a lot of new options for players, for investors, for publishers, for game developers. It's just overall a better ecosystem. We know that there's a huge community of gamers out there that are willing to pay for the games. They're willing to pay for the in-game content, and they are spending like literally hundreds of millions of dollars in the games that they really like to play. But there are like two really important components here. First of all, they must really care about the game they are playing, and that is achieved through the engaging gameplay, fun graphics, the social interactions that you can do in the game, and it has to have some sense of progression. And these two things alone are enough to drive this whole gaming industry to the moon, basically. Yeah, we saw like a constant growth of the gaming industry over the last 20 years, non-stop growth. So it's going on and on and on. So what we can do in Web3, we have these tools to get the ownership aspect in the player's hands. So although players are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in the games they care about, they cannot get anything in return. So they spend time, they spend money, but they're stuck with this asset. They can trade. Only a few platforms allow you to trade the asset. You have Steam, you have all these loot boxes, you have this nice fancy looking images for your weapons in Counter-Strike. You have Valve, which is like the largest trading platform. But this is all done off-chain. And this limits the liquidity, this limits the interoperability. So that's the problem that can be solved through Web3.
So most VRs usually, traditionally, not free in the market right now. Your game will be 100% free for the VR players. And if you don't have the VR, what about if you don't have a VR? It's expensive, young people.
Yeah, so there is an argument here as well. So actually, VR is the cheapest gaming platform out there. So it is cheaper than PlayStation 5 after the recent increase in price.
If you compare like that, you are right, yeah.
Yeah, it is cheaper than most of top-tier mobile phones. It is cheaper than Apple iPhone. It is the cheapest gaming platform that you can get. So, period. That's one thing. But Boss Fighters, it is an asymmetrical game. Here's the cool thing. So, we don't need only VR players to play the game. We actually need only a fraction of VR players to play the game, and all the rest who play the game, they are what we call flat screen players. They can use normal flat screen devices like PC, laptops, mobile phones, and so the whole concept of the game is built around this asymmetrical fight between the boss, who is controlled by a real VR player.
You say asymmetrical game means if you have the 1,000 players online playing, even if you have 10 VR players who is playing with the boss, 10% of them, the remaining 90%, even if they are not VR players, they still should be able to join the game and have a nice gaming experience.
And that's our plan. So this is what options in terms of game modes we can create. So right now we're working on our like flagship game mode where there is one boss and up to 10 players fighting this boss. So it's ratio 1 to 10. But in the end, having this flexibility, we can create a lot of like cool game modes. We can have like VR exclusive game modes just for VR players. We can have flat screen exclusive game modes. Let's say those fighters are fighting each other, and when the boss comes online, it drops into the battle and the rules change. And we know that people play this kind of boss fighting games, but they're fighting AI controlled bosses, which is not super fun, but still people are playing these games. And in our game, the boss can be controlled by a VR player, which creates endless replayability, because you can literally see how the human's physical motion is translated into this boss motion. And this creates like a lot of fun experience. So that's the whole point of the whole point and the whole concept. So it is asymmetrical. That means there is like a radically different gameplay. The boss, it is like physics-based, funhouse, wacky battle. Fighters, there is more like ability shooter, similar to Fortnite, to Overwatch. So very familiar titles to like all of the like, gaming community. So they know the titles. That's what we're trying to replicate.
There is an option, move to earn, related to VR. How is it going to be?
Yeah, exactly.
Great question.
Great question. I agree. So in my opinion, VR is the perfect medium for any kind of move to earn interactions, integration. So we saw, like again, a spike with this move to earn Ponzi-nomics projects that inevitably fail in a few months, especially when the market is bad. So they just rise and fail. They fall flat on the face. So that's not sustainable. You cannot create the project around hype, just move to earn. But in our case, this is more of a game design decision. So because you're moving in VR, you're using this controllers VR. We can track the position of the controller in space precisely. We can track all the actions that you do in VR as this player. So let's say we can track how many times you tossed a guy through the window. We can track how many cars you lifted as a heavyweight lift champion. We can track how many times you smacked somebody with your fist. So all of this contributes. So this all data we can feed into like a special reward contract.
With step in, everybody give to their mobile phone to one friend. He takes the 10 mobile phone. He jumps in his car, quick drive around the hood, come back, and the mission completed.
That's not how it works in VR. So you cannot fake this stuff. This is another big thing. So you won't be able to fake. But the whole point from the business standpoint, why we want to do this allows us to maintain our VR player base. So people are used to doing fitness in VR. There's a whole market of fitness apps in VR, and people buying those apps. So if they're gonna play our free game and get as a VR player just a marginal improvement in their reward, like a bonus, this will incentivize them to stay in the game and bring more VR players to the game. So this allows us to sustain the player base and grow our VR player base. So that's the whole point of this move to earn. And you cannot fake it because you need to have a VR device for that to fake.
Last thing I wonder that there is a spectator options which make money. And my last question can be like that because I really wonder how it's going to be.
Yeah, so we call it watch to earn. But again, this is like just a cool marketing term. We need to dig deep to understand how it works. And again, the goal of this system is to bring more people to the game in itself. So we have this like small but super engaged VR community, which will be playing the game for free. We have larger community of flat screen players that can join the game. And how can we expand our potential player base or user base? Essentially, this is the system. Right now, we're working with the Twitch API, and Twitch API allows you to do lots of cool stuff. So basically, we can track if you link your Twitch account to Boss Fighter's account, and you as a player, let's say you start a match, you create a stream, you start streaming. Maybe you do streaming once in a while. You're a casual streamer or you're a content creator with a substantial base of followers, you start streaming your game, and based on the number of your concurrent viewers, because we have like Twitch API integration, we can increase your player rewards. So if you're playing, so these are like soft currencies, have this watch turn option. On the other hand, we have spectators. So how do we engage with spectators, those backseat gamers, the guys who just like watching games? So they also can link their accounts to Boss Fighters Hub account. And by watching the content related to Boss Fighters, we can track how many hours of content they're watching, and we can drop them special tokens, what we call tickets, on their wallets. So these are on-chain assets. So these are basically free tokens, but the point is how can they use these tokens? So they use these tokens in two different ways. So first, it is usage in interactive game modes. Twitch API allows you to do interactions, directly intervene in the course of game. You can type chat command, let's say, help the boss, and the boss gets like boost for its weapons. Help fighters, and a crate with a rocket launcher drops in front of the fighter, something like that. And you need to spend tickets to do this stuff.
Okay, perfect. So how do you plan to bring players from like off-chain to on-chain? You know, how you know, it's not an easy thing to people who never had a MetaMask, any kind of crypto experience. These normal game players, they know how to have a Steam account, this, and I can understand. But how are you going to bring them and have a big player community?
Yeah.
You understand my question, I believe.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. That's a very important question that I always get asked. And there are a few points I want to emphasize here. So first of all, just if you check our newest website, it looks like a normal game. That's why we redesigned our site. That's why we're preparing for the Steam launch. So that's one point. Another thing is really important is to make the game free for those players, and do not set any roadblocks, any paywalls to enter the game. Games need a constant inflow of new players. If the game does not receive this flow of new players, it stagnates and dies. And that's the most important thing here. So first you need to entertain people. First you need to show them that this is the game that they really would like to play. They really care about the character development in the game, the stuff that they can like receive in the game just as a normal player. And then you can introduce them through game design decisions, not introduce and gently nudge them to adopt this for free. So that means we want to have like fiat payments, and we actually estimate like in the first year, like 75% of the whole revenues will go like from the fiat payments, and we will use it to buy back tokens. By the way, this is one of the utilities, because we are also interested in the token price.
This is very important. You will use it to buy back the tokens, so you can bring the token price.
Exactly, because we're also interested in the token price as well. About the character development in the game, the stuff that they can like receive in the game just as a normal player, and then you can introduce them through game design decisions, not introduce and gently nudge them to adopt this for free. So that means we want to have like fiat payments, and we actually estimate like in the first year, like 75% of the whole revenues will go like from the fiat payments, and we will use it to buy back tokens. By the way, this is one of the utilities, because we are also interested in the token price.
This is very important. You will use it to buy back the tokens, so you can bring the token price.
Exactly, because we're also interested in the token price as well. We have our team allocation, and it is locked like for a year at least. They have an option. We don't want to force them. I think that is the most important thing we need to understand. So we cannot force people to adopt Web free just with just promising like, hey, you will be instantly rich. So players play in the games not because they want to become rich, because they want to have fun. The whole point is just get players to play the game, get them interested in the game. They can start spending money as they like.
So you're not going to force them. They can still enjoy, but can they still earn money on the Web 2 side of it?
So you cannot earn money on Web 2. To earn, so on Web 2 you can only spend because it's Web 2. Yeah. You spend and you spend and spending. You spend in time, you're spending money, but you cannot earn. Yeah. You can start earning only when you go to Web 3.
I see. So if anybody wants to take this one step further, while they enjoying, if they willing to earn, turn this into some sort of income, that's the point they have to consider. Bring the MetaMask out, connect it, and
exactly.
And can they move whatever they purchase in the Web 2? Can they transfer everything into the Web 3?
Yeah, exactly. So they can actually mint some assets in the game as NFTs. And so how we want to do this? So there is a kind of a limited time window, like seasons. The games as seasons. Like it lasts like 2 to 3 months. And during the season, there is a set of rewards that can be earned by players, like a set of cosmetic items. And you cannot get this set of cosmetic items on season 2. Like next season, you won't be able to get this. So there is a clear incentive for players.
So it will reset every quarter or something. They're gonna lose all the points, all the gains, and everything. They have to start from scratch. Is this on the Web 2 or Web 3 as well?
This is on Web 2. So to prevent this, you need to mint assets and you need to use tokens.
Perfect. Now I understand why you're calling yourself Web 2.5. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we're done here now.